everyone. Today we will learn history and our topic is chapter number 7, new questions and ideas. So let's start. The Buddha belonged to a small Gana known as the Sakya Gana and was a Kshatriya. When he was a young man, he left the comforts of his home in search of knowledge. He wandered for several years, meeting and holding discussions with other thinkers. He finally decided to find his own path to realization and meditated for days and under a peepal tree at Bodh Gaya in Bihar. Later it was known as the Bodhi tree, where he attained enlightenment. After that, he was known as the Buddha or the Wise One. Then he went to Sarnath near Varanasi, where he taught for the first time. He spent the rest of his life traveling on foot, going from place to place and teaching people. As he went place to place, he had many stories and many incidents also which were written. So here is a famous story about the Buddha. Once there was a woman named Kisa Gotami, whose son has died. She was so sad that she roamed through the streets of the city carrying the child with her, asking for help to bring him back to life. A kind man took her to Buddha. The Buddha said, "Bring me a handful of mustard seeds and I will bring your child back to life." So Kisa Gotami was overjoyed and started off at once, but the Buddha gently stopped her and added, "The seeds must come from the house of a family where nobody has died." Kisa Gotami went door to door, but wherever she went, she found that someone or the other, father, mother, sister, brother, husband, wife, child, uncle, aunt, grandfather, grandmother had died. So what was Buddha tried to teaching the Kisa Gotami? So obviously he was trying to teach her that there is no one in the world which has not lost his loved one. So it was his teaching. So 6 schools of Indian philosophy. So over centuries, India's intellectual exploration of truth has come to be represented by 6 systems of philosophy. These are known as Vaisheshika, Nyaya, Samkhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa and Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa. So these 6 systems of philosophy are said to have been founded by sages Konada, Gautama, Kapil, Patanjali, Jamini and Vyasa respectively. Don't be confused, this Gautama is not Gautam Buddha. So these philosophies still guide scholarly discourse in the country. German-born British Indologist Friedrich Max Müller has observed that the 6 systems of Indian philosophy were developed over many generations with contributions made by individual thinkers. However, today we find an underlying harmony in their understanding of truth, although they seem distinct from each other. So, one more story. It was the wise beggar. So, before listing it, you have to learn about the Atma and Brahma. So, what is Atma? The individual soul is called Atma and the universal soul is called Brahma. So, here is a dialogue based on a story from which most famous Upanishads, the Chandogya Upanishad, was written. So Shaunaka and Abhipratrin are 2 sages who worship the universal soul. Once they sat down to eat, a beggar came and asked for some food. So the Shaunaka said, "We cannot spare anything for you." The beggar asked, "Learns us, whom do you worship?" So Abhipratrin replied, "The universal soul." So it means that you know that the universal soul fills the entire world. Yes, we know that, sages nodded. So if the universal soul fills the whole world, it fills me too. Who am I but a part of the world? The beggar asked. "You speak the truth, O Brahmin. Then, O sages, by not giving me food, you are actually denying food to the universal soul." The sages realized the truth of what beggar said and shared their food with him. So, now I will tell you about the Panini, Rishi Panini, the grammarian. So, This was also the time when other scholars were at the work. So one of the most famous was Panini, who prepared a grammar for Sanskrit. He arranged the vowels and consonants in a special order and then used these to create formula like those found in algebra. He used these to write down the rules of the language in short formula, around 3000 of them. Now we will learn about Jainism. So the last and 24th Tirthankara of Jainas, Vardhamana Mahavira, also spread his message around this time, i.e. 2500 years ago. So he was a Kshatriya prince of the Lichavis, a group that was part of the Vajji Sangha, about which you will read in my next video. At the age of 30, he left home and went to live in a forest for 12 years. He led a hard and lonely life, at the end of which he attained enlightenment. So, first he was like only Buddha. He had pleasure and comforts of his home. He left them in search of truth. So, why do you think he had not followed the Buddhism? Why did he wanted to make his own path? He wanted to make his own path when there was many paths that made Lord Buddha and other religions also. If you have any thought, please share with me in the comment box. So, the followers of Mahavira, who were known as the Jainas, had to lead very simple lives begging for food. They had to be absolutely honest and were especially asked not to steal. Also, they had to observe celibacy, and men had to give up everything, including their clothes. So, Jaina. The word Jaina comes from the term Jina, meaning conqueror. Why do you think the term Jina was used for Mahavira? Yes, because he conquered moksha. He conquered enlightenment. So, what is this? This is called a monastery. You may have read in your school. So, in the rainy seasons, especially monsoons, this is difficult to travel in hilly areas and some plain areas also because of floods, landslides, and much water in river. So, both Jainism and Buddhism people traveled from one place to another. So they made shelters in rainy season, monsoon. So these were made of wood and brick. So, or they could be made in natural caves also, where all the people sat together and meditated and did their other works of the day, as you know, cooking food, eating, etc. So these were called monasteries. So a Buddhist text tell us. What does the Buddhist text tell us? Just as the waters of the rivers lose their names and separateness when they flow into the mighty ocean, so are the varna and ranks and family forgotten when the followers of Buddha join the order of monks. So, elsewhere, find Iran in your atlas. You may have your atlas. So, Zoroaster was an Iranian prophet. So, this is my atlas. And this is a world map. So where is Iran? See this. This is Iran. This is Iran and this is India. This is India. So Iran is located very close to India. We have to cross Pakistan and Afghanistan to reach Iran. So, Zoroaster was an Iranian prophet. His teachings are contained in a book called Avesta. The language of Avesta and the practices described in it are very similar to those of the Vedas. The basic teachings of Zoroaster are contained in the maxim, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Here's a verse from the Zendavesta. Lord grant strength and the rule of the truth and good thinking, by means of which one shall create peace and tranquility. Tranquility means peace and calmness. So for more than 1,000 years, Zoroastrianism was a major religion in Iran. Later, some Zoroastrians migrated from Iran and settled down in the coastal towns of Gujarat, Maharashtra. They were ancestors of today's Parsis. So, have a closer look. So this is Iran here, and here is this India. Okay. So time for some important dates. Upanishadic thinkers, the Jaina teacher Mahavira and Buddha. So they gave their teachings about 2500 years ago. So writing down of the Jaina text in the books of Jainism was written about 1500 years ago. So this is the comment question. You have to tell the true or false. A. The Buddha encouraged animal sacrifices. B. Sarnath is important because it was a place where the Buddha taught for the first time. C. The Buddha taught that karma has no effect on our lives. The Buddha attained enlightenment at Bodh Gaya. So, this was all for today. I will meet you in my next video with another topic. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications, and please increase my subscriber. When there will be around 60 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Bye.